Welcome. Today, we're digging into a pretty powerful framework that's been making the rounds. It's for anyone who wants to achieve, massive results, and it's called the 100x blueprint. So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're putting in all the hours, you're doing what feels like all the right things, but you're just not seeing those breakthrough results you're hoping for. It feels like you're moving, yeah, but you're kind of permanently stuck in first gear. And that exact feeling, it's really at the heart of this whole 100x blueprint idea. It suggests that most of us are caught between two very different paths. On one side, you've got linear growth. That's the steady, predictable, but oh so slow progress. And on the other side, that's 100x growth, a path that promises something exponential, something rapid, and something truly transformational.
Now, to really get the solution here, we first have to break down the problem. The blueprint calls it the linear growth trap, and it's all about these invisible ceilings that people keep running into.
Here's the core issue it's trying to solve. Even the most driven, ambitious people get stuck. They hit these plateaus, right? These invisible ceilings where putting in more effort just doesn't lead to better results. It's an incredibly frustrating place to be, and honestly, it's a super common experience.
So, why do we get stuck? Well, the blueprint points to three main reasons. First, just not having a clear vision that's actually aligned with your real purpose. Second, there's this really interesting and kind of tricky problem it calls identity friction. We'll unpack that in just a second. And third, it's about setting goals that are just sort of floating out there, completely disconnected from your deeper mission.
So, if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, this is where the 100x potential framework really steps in. It offers a step-by-step process that's specifically designed to help you shatter those ceilings for good.
And the framework itself is built on 5 core skills that, they follow a really logical path. It all starts with crafting a bold 100x vision. From there, you work on aligning your identity to match that vision. Then you reverse engineer it into real, concrete milestones, build a support system or ecosystem, and finally, you launch a pilot project to make it all real.
Let's dig into that first step, because it's absolutely crucial: crafting your vision. What does it actually mean to set a bold goal in this context?
The key thing to understand here is that a 100x vision isn't just some big, crazy goal. It has to hit a few specific marks. It needs to be crystal clear, it has to be deeply aligned with your personal purpose, and it has to genuinely excite you. It's the kind of goal that plugs directly into your life's mission.
And why is this so important? Because chasing a vision like this, it isn't just about hitting a target. The idea is that it helps you build an entire ecosystem for your life, one that ultimately gives you more influence, more freedom, and a really powerful sense of fulfillment.
Okay, a big vision is great, but let's be real, it's pretty useless without action. So how do you actually bridge that gap between a huge goal and what you do every day? Well, the answer lies in building what it calls exponential habits.
And this brings us right back to that fascinating idea of identity friction. You know what that is? It's that feeling of resistance you get when your habits don't match the person you're trying to become. It's like trying to be an early riser while you're still scrolling on your phone till 2 in the morning. The goal here is to close that gap between who you are right now and who you need to be to achieve that vision.
And here's the actual system for doing it. You take that massive 100x vision and you work backward from it. You reverse engineer it into more manageable 10x milestones. And then you break those milestones down into weekly action plans, or what they call sprints. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful way to make an intimidating goal feel completely achievable.
This all sounds great in theory, right? But where in the world do you actually start? Well, the blueprint lays out a very clear first step to get you going. The recommended starting point is actually a set of tools which is called a starter kit. It's designed to help you lay all the practical groundwork for everything we've just been talking about. And if you look at what's inside, you can see how it all maps directly back to those core skills. The clarity guide and the vision worksheets, that's all about crafting your vision. The identity prompts and that mindset series, that's there to help you resolve that identity friction. And the community access, well, that helps you start building your ecosystem. See how it all connects? So who is this really for? The blueprint identifies a few key groups who stand to benefit the most. First up is leaders. Specifically, leaders who are trying to scale their impact, but are determined to do it with purpose.
avoiding that burnout that comes from just chasing empty goals.
It also really calls out creators and coaches. For this group, that feeling of identity friction can be a huge, huge roadblock. So the framework is positioned as a tool for them to consciously transform their identity and break through to that next level of their work.
And finally, it speaks directly to women and to next-generation changemakers. For anyone who feels like they're constantly hitting those systemic or maybe even internal invisible ceilings, this blueprint is offered up as a really structured way to find clarity, build momentum, and drive some truly meaningful change.
And really, the entire framework just boils down to this one powerful call to action. It's that final reminder that true transformation, it doesn't begin with a perfect plan that you'll get to someday. It begins with a single intentional step. Right now. So, after walking through this whole blueprint, it really leaves you with one big question to take away. As you look at your own work, your own ambitions, what is the single biggest invisible ceiling that you feel might be holding you back right now?